So today we are going to be repairing a Coleman 13 by 13 canopy. Here's the canopy. As some of you may know, these triggers tend to get stuck. If you get sand in here, any debris, the spring will actually get stuck. So here's the bottom part of the leg, and you slide it out. If this trigger gets stuck, the way you take it off is you just hammer it from the top right here. You hammer it really hard and it pops off. Then you're able to clean inside of it and repair it. So another common issue with these is the pin at the top. These pins that catch on to the top part tend to get bent inside. So this is what it should look like once it's fixed. Here's an example of one that is wedged inside and is broken. It's not popped out all the way. It's barely sticking out. So when you try to open the canopy, it doesn't catch and it just keeps sliding out. Again, this is the top part, and I'll show you how to fix that. So on the top cap, you're gonna have one screw here, one screw here, one screw here.
Inside.
When you come inside, there's going to be another screw down here. Oops, sorry, right there. And the last screw is going to be right in here. Don't forget that one. That's the last one. For the screw that is inside, you're going to need to grab a stick, pointy stick. And there's a hole right on the bottom. Right here, you're gonna need to push it out as you screw it off to be able to lift it out. And the screw should come right out. This is the last screw right here. So you should have 2 sharp screws and 3 of the bolted screws total. Once you have all the screws off, go ahead and hammer this out with a hammer and use a piece of wood to not damage the top cap. So the cap should come right off. This is what the cap looks like. Again, here I flip this over. Here's the other side. See how you can barely see that pin? It's barely sticking out. So we're gonna have to take this off as well as this cap off, because this pin is also barely visible right there, and it does not catch. If we go and look inside of this, you'll see that is the pin that is wedged inside. Grab a pair of needle nose pliers to take out the spring that looks like this. This is a spring inside. What will happen is if this little ball in here, if this gets pinched, it'll cause it to get stuck in the pole. So once you take it out, put the needle nose pliers inside and widen up that little ball so it's nice and straight like that. For example, you want to put the needle nose in there, open it up, make sure, obviously use some strength. Then you want to put this back in to the tube. Once you insert it back in, go ahead and test it out, make sure it does not get stuck anymore. So push it all the way in, it should release out and should not get stuck anymore. So that's perfect. So we're on the last cap. Obviously, before you put this cap back on, make sure that this stick goes inside of the hole right here, just like they were when you took them off. First thing you want to do is put that in. When you put the cap back on, it slides right in here on this leg. Make sure you line up the holes, the screw holes that are right here. Line it up there. Same thing with this piece. When you get it back in here, you might want to use a hammer it back into place, line up the holes. Make sure the holes line up like that. And then same thing for the one on the back side. There's one here. Line these holes up. The hardest screw is the one that's inside. It's gonna be this piece here. This is a screw you want to put in first. So there's a screw that comes in through the back, right in here, and it goes through here. So what you want to do is the first screw is put this sucker in, and then line up the holes so you can see straight through it, just like that. See how now it's covered? I just had it, so there we go. See, perfect right there. You can see straight through it. That's when you want to put the screw in first. Then you can do this one, and then you'll do this one here, and then the last ones are the two that go onto the bar itself. So now this is what it should look like. This is the corner top. Again, this should be nice and straight, should pop out. And you grab this down, lift up, you should hear it click, and it should be nice and sturdy and catch. Now you're good to go.